This Jim McMahon edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBET. Get started today and you'll get a risk-free bet up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. Get the details at wynnbet.com and download the app today. We're also brought to you by PropSwap, America's #1 app to buy and sell sports bets. Use promo code SGP on your first deposit and receive up to $500 in bonus cash. That's PropSwap.com, promo code SGP. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with promo code SGPN and receive a free $25 entry to use in Best Ball Mania 2 for a chance to win $1 million. And of course, don't forget to download the SGPN app in the App Store or Google Play Store. Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer Dog?
Hut hike. I'm just excited for football.
Excited for football. We're cranking on some interviews here informally. SGPN Media Week on the podcast. Joining us to talk professional pigskin, Colby Dant, aka the Danta Base.
I forgot to wear my headband saying Sean Green. All right, like McMahon had with Roselle.
Shots.
Look
fired.
out. Well, and Colby, we didn't. We already taped the interview. We're about to play the interview. We didn't get to it. I was remiss and should have added it to my sheet, but. You have a conspiracy theory about the NFL adjusting the tinting level of the masks allowed in the game, and we should have brought that up to Jim McMahon. He may not be aware, but you've said that they have limited the level of tint in the NFL mask, and you suggest it's one of the things killing the game.
Oh, there's a lot, man. That was always a cool part of football. That now they have regulations. Did you know they have regulations of what the coaches can wear now? I mean, it's ridiculous. Remember that Bum Phillips could never coach today because he wore a cowboy hat. That's terrible. That's terrible. Let the personalities go, you know?
Assimilate. No unique personal flair.
Oh man. All right, let's do it. NFL. The National Football League, the NFL right around the corner. You can hear the energy in my voice because it's that time. Time to head over to wynnbet.com, wynnbet.com. Head over there, get involved in that $500 risk-free bet. Are you kidding me? Let's go. Plenty of win totals to get down on. Jimmy Mack's Chicago. He played for 7 different teams, so see if you're feeling Jimmy Mack in the interview, maybe go to one of the 7 teams he played for and get down on one of these win total bets. He's not a huge fan of Bill Belichick. You're going to hear that in the podcast. Or Cleveland. They're on his list. But you know who's on my list? My #1 list when it comes to places to bet online. WynnBET. Just go to wynnbet.com. And one more partner gets a shout out before we get into the interview with Jimmy Mack. PropSwap, baby. PropSwap.com. I know we already, Colby, what are the college football Heisman Trophy tickets we have going for you? Kramer was kind enough. He hooked me up with the Nick Sirianni Coach of the Year future. I'm holding that ticket. When it's skyrocketing in value, it's at 50-1. So I could be looking at a cash out of $5,000. Maybe they start out pretty hot and I can sell it on PropSwap. But either way, I'm going to ride this to the very end. But in case you're just a person who wants to make money with your gambling, you can go to PropSwap.com. When one of your bets skyrocket in value, you can head over there, sell, or the opposite way. You want to get down on Nick Sirianni Coach of the Year, or some what are the college football Heisman Trophy bets we got?
We
going?
went chalk with Spencer Rattler, but we also placed a couple bets on Sam Howell of North Carolina and a good long shot here at Matt Corral of Ole Miss. He might put up some monster numbers with Lane Kiffin in that Rebels offense.
To me, that's the one that I think we're going to be looking to sell later in the season.
Yes.
Because I think his odds have to drop just when you see the stats he starts putting up.
Yeah,
and especially start off with a couple of non-conference games, schedule a little easier, lighten it up. The odds for him to win go way down, aka your value goes up. Perfect time to take that ticket. Head over to PropSwap.com, and if you use that promo code SGP, you get a nice deposit bonus up to $500 in bonus cash over at PropSwap.com. Promo code SGP. Joining us on the line, Super Bowl winning quarterback Jim McMahon. Jim, I know you've been a big advocate of medical marijuana, getting it out there, helping your CTE. And I saw you're actually launching your own product. What do you got going on?
Well, I'm involved with 3 other ex-ball players: Kyle Turley, Evan Britton, and Ricky Williams. And the company's called Revenant. And we're launching this Saturday down in Ramona, California. And excited about it. We're looking forward to. I think we're doing everything from seed to sale. So, looking forward to doing well with the company and having some fun with these ex-ball players.
Yeah, that's when a couple ex-ball players all get together, all kind of dabble in the marijuana. What's the go-to conversation? You guys talk old times. You talk partying. Like, where do you guys? What do you guys break down?
Well, these days it's what strain do you like? I mean, what's doing what for what part of your body these days? I mean, I know Kyle is really he's really studied a lot about it, and he's got his different strains that he enjoys, and everybody seems like something different, and that's what's great about the plant. It's there's something for everybody in it.
Yeah, I did a lot of studying in college of different strains.
Well, I got to ask Jim, like, do you what is your? Because I mean, I also like to dabble, and I have kind of my preferred nighttime, my preferred daytime, and maybe even my preferred thinking strain. So I wanted to ask you, because I think that is, like, obviously they make you feel different, the parts of the body, but I wanted to ask you, what is your go-to nighttime strain?
Anything indica.
Okay.
Usually.
Indica.
I'm not a big sativa guy. Doesn't do much for me, but I like the indica. I do the indicas all day long, but at night I like the edibles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your go-to method of consumption? You don't strike me as a bong guy. What do you work with over there on the medical weed?
I like my little pipe, and I've got some pre-rolls and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not big on the bong or any of.
The bong just seems like too much work, especially now as an adult. It's just like, come on. The pre-rolls are great though, like the tiny little pre-rolls. It's they're so convenient.
Oh yeah, they're great. I mean, they've got so many great products out. I mean, you can put the THC in pretty much anything, in water, coffee, drinks. I mean, roll-ons. I mean, they got something for everybody. So that's what's great about this plant. I mean, it's never been a drug. It's been a medicinal herb. It was just stigmatized and labeled wrong. And we've been lied to for over 100 years about it by the government. So, but that doesn't surprise me.
No, the government, not the government. Oh, no. Well,
let me put on my mask, Sean.
Jim, I know we had a couple other former athletes on this past week. Well, Joe Theismann, and then we also had Larry the Cable Guy, a couple of the other contestants there, a couple of the other golfers at the American Century Championship. I saw you played in all 32 of the tournaments. How'd you shoot this past weekend?
It was probably my worst year in 32 years. I mean, I didn't drive it that bad, but I couldn't hit a wedge to save my butt.
What about?
I putted a couple times, so about 40 yards out. I was so pissed.
We got a buddy of ours who's a big advocate of putting.
Give me the putter.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, come
on, Dad, hit the wedge. I go, no, I'm not hitting another fat wedge. Give me the putter.
I know that feeling when the lob wedge is failing me. It's like, screw it. I always just channel Charles Barkley. If I can putt, I'm gonna putt. And sometimes you need to just pull the putter out.
I didn't know this, Jim, but you're actually you're a barefoot golfer. Were you golfing barefoot for the last championship tournament here? Oh
yeah. I've been playing without shoes for a long time. I used to wear them. I get, every time I put on shoes, I get blisters because I don't wear them enough. I live in flip flops or nothing. So, and I love walking on the grass. I keep my flip flops handy in case I hit it in the crap. But other than that, just walking around the grass feels awesome.
Glad to see someone carrying on the Rich Carlist tradition. Remember the old barefoot kicker, Sean? They had in the '80s. I feel like there was always a punter or kicker in the NFL that was barefoot.
I am jealous. I've tried to golf barefoot before in Hawaii, and I don't have quite the grip. Maybe it's an acquired thing just from But man, yeah, I did see that, Sean. I was gonna give him give Jim a tab because I'm super jealous of anyone that can just go out and commit to no shoes for a lifestyle.
Well, if you're gripping with your feet, you're doing something wrong.
Well,
you sound like you should be Kramer's swing coach.
Golf's about balance. So if your balance is all right, shoes don't. I don't think they help all that much.
What about cocktails out on the course? I feel like sometimes if I have 2 or 3, that relaxes me. My swing is a little more smooth. But then there's a certain point where there's diminishing returns. Are you a drinker out on the course?
Yes, I enjoy a beverage out there too, or 12.
What's your move?
Like
Bloody Marys, or what do you get into? Beer?
Oh no, I like the beer. Yeah.
Yeah. Crack a couple.
It hydrates you too, right?
Yeah, you start doing drinks and shots out on the course. That's when your game really goes bad. But I stick to beer pretty. I used to be a beer a hole, but I'm a little older now, so it's I probably go through about 10 or 12 in a round.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
It's a nice afternoon.
I saw besides the marijuana product launch coming up here, I saw also there's the Mad Mac documentary coming out. Obviously, a documentary about you. Walk us through the process. Are you involved in the production of it, or did a production company come to you and pitch the idea for the documentary?
No, this guy's CJ Wallace. He's actually from Canada, living in LA now, but. He approached me about doing it, and I said, what's going to be different than the rest of the things that have been said and done? And he just, I just want to come at it from a different angle, have more. I think he's interviewed over 50 some people. He's probably got more footage than we can use. He was at my house for about 3 days filming. Pretty basic stuff. I've seen about half of the film that we previewed in Cleveland a month ago or so. And the first half is pretty much, going through college and up through up to the Super Bowl. And I think the second half will be mostly, what went on since I retired. But I haven't seen the other half yet, so I really don't know how it's all going to be put together. Don't really know all the guys that he has interviewed. I gave him a list of guys that I thought would be good, and so I'll wait and see with you guys.
Yeah, no, excited to check it out. And as a Jim McMahon fan, I guess, do you know of any little nuggets or stories that you hit on that you think people will be surprised to learn about from the doc?
Oh, well, I've talked about a few of those stories before on the radio. Let's see. The favorite was the Belichick story in Cleveland.
Oh yeah. And I'm if people haven't heard the story, kind of walk us through it. It was your time there at the end, kind of towards the end of your career there with the Browns. You kind of had an issue with Belichick and the way he handled your contract.
No, what happened was at the end of training camp, he called me in and he said, we're going to have to release you because we got so many guys hurt. We need roster spots. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I didn't really want to be in Cleveland. And he said, no, but we really need you. I said, well, what are you talking about? He said, because at the time they had Vinny Testaverde and they had just drafted a rookie. And he goes, I can't go into the season with a rookie backup. I said, well, what are you telling me, Bill? I said, if I'm going to be here, I said, I have to move my family here. I got to find a hockey team for my boys. I said, I'm not going to do all that on my own. And he says, no, we're going to take care of you. I said, what does that mean? Well, he said, we're going to pay you to sit out. He said, it'll probably only be 1 or 2 weeks. So I called my attorney. I said, can I trust this guy? He just said he's going to pay me to sit out. And he said, well, you got to take the man at his word. So I did. I found a house to live in. I found a hockey team for my boys, moved my family out. And then the first week on Friday, I called in for my check and I got the runaround. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just first week jitters. Second week, same thing. 7 damn weeks in a row, I'm sitting there doing nothing. I was playing golf at Firestone. That was kind of nice. But I was working out at some local Gold's Gym and, doing absolutely nothing. So then I get signed back. I think it was week 8. And so the next 3 games I dressed, I got my checks. So they still owe me 7 game checks.
Yeah.
And I keep asking them about it. Right. So then it just so happens we play the Packers. I think it was week 10. We played the Packers in Cleveland, and I'm in my Cleveland Brown stuff. Andy Reid was in his Packer stuff, and Andy and I go way back. He was my tackle in college. And, he goes, man, you should have came here this year. You know, we're going to be pretty good. I said, I know I screwed up. I don't like it here. I don't like those. I pointed over at Belichick. I said, I don't like that guy. Anybody? I said, don't be surprised if I'm available soon. And he's like, what? I said, just check the waiver wire. So the very next day, I'm in the quarterback meeting watching the game film, and I get up to go to the restroom, and here comes the GM that's been giving me the runaround for 7 weeks. And I cornered him and said, look, I want my money. I said, you know, my wife just got in a wreck. I don't want to deal with insurance. And he looks at me smart ass and he says, well, maybe we'll pay you. Maybe we won't.
Oh, man.
And I just lost it, man. I grabbed him by his neck and I started hitting his head on the wall. And I said, you're going to pay me my money. And this was before they had cameras everywhere, right? So I'm looking around. I don't see anybody else in the hall. And I whack him one more time. And I walk into the training room. I call my attorney. I said, you better get me cut right now or I'm going to kill this guy.
Oh, man.
Get me cut right now.
All
Here's
right.
the number. And he called me back within 2 minutes. And he said, all right, they'll release you if that's what you want. I said, perfect. So now I walk back into the QB meeting. All this took place within 10 minutes. And I just said, hey, boys, I'll see y'all later. And they're like, what? Where are you going? And the QB coach says, hey, have you talked to Bill? I said, you can tell Bill to kiss my ass, that lying piece of crap. I said, I'm not talking to Bill ever again. And I was gone. And the very next day I was in Green Bay. So it all worked out great. You know, I finished the season there in Green Bay. We ended up losing the NFC Championship that year, but the next year we won the Super Bowl, and that was enough.
I'm ready for the documentary.
Yeah,
All right,
I
you
mean,
just sold me. That was a great pitch.
Now, did you ever take this complaint to the NFL Players Association, or did you ever try to sue Belichick or you can sue Belichick, but like the Browns?
My attorney called him a couple of times, but I mean, who the hell are they going to believe? You know,
Yeah,
the crazy one or the guru.
Well, when you're saying crazy one, I thought you were talking about Belichick.
I've told everybody this story for the last 24 years since I've been out of the league. And he's the guru now. So
basically, it was an under the table agreement that you and Belichick came to, and then he didn't honor it when it actually came to getting paid. Well, which I mean, it's not Belichick's money, right? It's not coming out of his purse. Why does he have a problem?
He told me that I think it was Art Modell was the owner at the time. He goes, Mr. Medell knows all about this, and we're gonna make sure that it's taken care of. I mean, they didn't do a damn thing. I think I even moved myself there by myself, out of my own pocket. So why the hell would I move my family there for a year if I knew I wasn't going to get paid? That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, no, I mean. That doesn't.
I know I'm having troubles in my head, but I ain't that stupid.
And then you ended up on Green Bay, and I saw recently you were kind of going out of your way to praise the Packers, saying that at all the teams you played for, I think 7 different NFL teams, that the Packers were actually the best team and best organization that you played for.
No, I didn't say best team.
Oh, okay, sorry, best organization.
I think when I got asked the question, I started that way, but I didn't mean. I said, "Oh, excuse me, I don't mean the best team. I said the best organization."
Yeah,
I played for the Packers, and by far they were. I mean, hell, it's a different world up there. I mean, everybody's like treated like family up there. I mean, it's just it'd be nice if all the teams were like that. But what else you got in Green Bay? Unless you ice fish, I don't do that.
Yeah. What about now Aaron Rodgers? He seems to have a problem with the organization. Does that kind of surprise you, because you obviously had a great experience there up in Green Bay?
Well, I don't know what the the whole story there is. I don't like I said, I don't follow a game a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was I didn't even know he was thinking about retirement or just quitting. I don't know what the hell the story is. So it surprises me. Well, it really doesn't surprise me. I guess they've been, from what the little bit I've heard, is that they keep drafting defensive players and they're not getting anybody around him. I guess that's the deal, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's just interesting because, yeah, he has issues with the Packers organization, obviously. But again, from obviously, I've never played for the Packers, but it seems like a lot of former Packers have nice things to say about the organization. So I guess just kind of surprising that he has this particular issue. And maybe it's just, you know, him and the team and whatever's going on there. Talking to other quarterbacks though, Zach Wilson just got drafted number 2 overall by the Jets. Obviously he played at BYU. You played at BYU. Have you had any time to hang out with Zach Wilson, both former BYU guys?
I actually got to meet him a couple of months ago here in Arizona. He was at Steve Young's golf event. I think it was, you know, pretty much right after the draft. And, you know, I wished him luck. I said, you know, when you get drafted that high, the team usually sucks. So good luck with that.
Well, do you think maybe Zach Wilson could be the exception for the Jets quarterbacks? Because they haven't had a great run here, unfortunately, for a while.
Well, it's all going to depend on who's he got up front. You know, if he's got anybody protecting him. You know, I told him this as well. I said, how's your offensive line as far as you know? And he says, well, I think they're getting better. They drafted some big tackle or something. And I said, you know, you shouldn't care who your receivers or running backs are. You care who the front 5 are. Those guys are going to keep you alive. I mean, there's so much talent everywhere at the other positions, but it's hard to find, you know, a good group of 5 guys that can, you know, do the job.
Yeah, and obviously as a quarterback, your health and well-being depends on it. So that's the most important. Obviously, huge news in college football. As a you know, you're in the College Football Hall of Fame now. College football players can make some cash above the board. You know, who knows what was going on obviously before, but with NIL and licensing opportunities. What do you think you would have gotten involved in merchandising wise, or, you know, licensing your image? Do you think you would have been able to cash in a little bit in college?
I would think so. I mean, I had a pretty good career in college.
Oh yeah,
you got to throw it a hell of a lot there. Yeah, I think I was the first guy to throw for over 4,000 yards. I had 47 touchdowns my junior year, and those were, you know, those blew away the whatever records that were there at the time. And when I finished, I think I had 71 collegiate records. So I probably could have made a little cash.
Is there any product you imagine yourself endorsing as a college athlete? Maybe I don't know, maybe Miller Lite or what do you think you would have thrown out there?
Well, at BYU, I probably wouldn't have got a whole lot of choices.
Limited opportunities, right?
That I could have, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, obviously, well, and speaking of beer, I read this story. I'm obviously a huge Eagles fan, and they were an author was like, you know, one of the reporters was reminiscing some of his favorite training camp stories, but he said out at Westchester during the Eagles camp, you bought a round of beer for the reporters, and then when they came over to thank you, you said, "Hey guys, just because I bought you some beers doesn't mean I want to talk to you."
Sounds like something I do.
Well, I mean, as an athlete, I get why you wouldn't be interested in talking to the media, because is it just like there's nothing to gain where talking to the media can only kind of go wrong?
Well, there's only, you know, I never minded talking about what happens during the games, but you know, what I do during the week is none of their damn business.
No, that makes sense.
Seems like a fair stance.
Yeah. Did you get that a lot? Were they busting your chops? You know, hey,
every day, counting you every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't played the game yet. Another 5 days. Talk to me.
Now, when you were in Philly, you played.
They hurt in the damn training room, so I didn't want to have to deal with them.
Now, when you were in Philly, you played for Buddy Ryan. Was that your favorite coach to play for? Looking back on your whole NFL career, or was there certain other coaches that you preferred playing for?
Buddy was a great defensive coordinator. He changed the game of football with his defense. The whole West Coast offense came to being because you didn't get rid of the ball in 3 steps, your ass was hit. But I told him this to his face. I said, Buddy, you're a terrible head coach. Because Buddy only cared about defense. There's other facets of the game. When I was with him in Philly, he would tell our coordinator, hey, run the ball, we'll score on defense and win.
Simple plan.
And he was dead ass serious. And I'd go, Buddy, you're not going to win, 3-0, 6-0. You got to play Dallas twice a year. You got to play the Giants, the Skins, San Francisco. You got to score points. But he didn't care. He goes, oh, any fat ass could play offensive line. That was his. That's what he wanted to go against, so his guys could get sacks. That's why he just didn't care.
So well, and that to me, again, as an Eagles fan, that was so frustrating because especially Randall Cunningham, you see later on in his career what he was able to do with Minnesota. You only wish, and even when you were starting as well, that they had some sort of offensive-minded head coach to take advantage of some of the weapons they have. Like I just imagine, and Andy Reid, obviously Randall Cunningham. Could you imagine Randall Cunningham playing for Andy Reid?
Yeah, I think he'd have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Andy. He's an old offensive lineman that loves to throw the football. Most old linemen just want to grind on people and just beat up on them. I was talking to Jonathan Ogden, the big tackle from the Ravens, a few years back, and I said, hey, do you miss the game at all? He goes, no, not really. He goes, but I do miss just manhandling people. He goes, I can't do that anymore without getting arrested.
Yeah, no, I mean, I gotta imagine if you're one of those guys in the trenches, whatever stress, whatever's bothering you during the week, you can blow up some steam there, just slamming into the other guy.
Not that it's the same thing, but I felt the same after retiring from rec league basketball. I didn't have that ability to move some people around.
Ryan did like to lower his head and try and initiate contact going to the rim. So I could see how that was similar as far as the stress level. One of the other big stories, Chicago Bears, they drafted Justin Fields. Hopefully for the Chicago Bears, this is kind of a new era for them quarterback wise. I know, again, I read the quote that you said, Chicago's where QBs go to die. Do you think Justin Fields is one of the guys that can break that streak for Chicago?
Well, I don't follow him much, but I know he's a talented kid. I mean, they won a lot of games at Ohio State, but Chicago's never been a QB town, really. I mean, they're known for their defense and their running game. That's been their bread and butter for 100 years. And, every once in a while, some years they'll come out throwing it. But, when I was there with Chicago, hell, we had Walter Payton. We're going to run the football, and everybody knew it. And so it was frustrating as hell for me, just coming from BYU, where I got to throw it at least 35 times a game, and that's usually in the first half. And then I'd be out. And then at Chicago, it'd take me 3 games to throw 35 balls.
There's rumblings right now that Chicago might be getting a dome. How do you feel about the Bears being, playing football in a dome?
Well, I would have loved it. I mean, I grew up in California. I didn't like cold weather. I mean, 50 degrees used to be cold. And then I'm playing in 50 below. I mean, that sucked.
Colby's
They talking about being bear weather. I mean, that's polar bear weather, man. I don't. Nobody likes playing in that. And what was worse is we didn't have an indoor facility. I mean, we had to practice in that. So go through that, 3 or 4 days a week, and then have to play in it too. I mean, that takes its toll.
Yeah, and you can't play barefoot outside in Soldier Field there. What about as we're closing things out here, you have the medical marijuana product launch, you have the documentary coming out. I also saw, as far as it pertains to CTE, that you're an advocate of using stem cells to treat CTE. You've had really good results with that.
I went down to Medellin, Colombia, a couple of years ago, and 3 years ago, I had my right shoulder done here in the States, in Arizona. And here they can only use up to 1 million cells at a time because they don't want you healthy here in the States. But this company's actually based here in Phoenix called Bio Accelerator, and I went down to, and they do all their procedures down in Medellin. Beautiful facility, beautiful town. Doctors were great. Yeah, I got 275 million, and I got them in both shoulders, both elbows, both knees, my neck, and also they put them in my spine, so they went up into my brain as well. But yeah, my body has felt great. My right shoulder's still bugging the hell out. I think I might need a whole new shoulder. But other than that, my knees feel good, elbows feel good. So, you know, there's something to it. It's the most perfect cell there is, I guess. There's no markers. They just go to wherever the inflammation or damage is, and they heal.
There's no hangover with that. Like right when you get the injections, how does your body feel right after that?
Well, right after the first 2 days, I was fine. You go into one of those hyperbaric chambers for an hour a day after that. But it was the third day, because I got the procedure done on Tuesday. So Wednesday, so Friday, I started getting this headache, and then Saturday I was flying home, and I was puking like every 10 minutes. I was laying down on the floor on the plane, and the stewardess or whatever you call them these days, they go, "Hey, you can't lay there." I go, "Lady, I can't sit up. My head is pounding." I said, "I'm going to puke all over everybody on this plane." It was a brutal experience for about 3 days. But after that, you know, like I said, my body feels good.
Hey, whatever it takes. Yeah. Well, make sure you check out Jim McMahon's new line of weed, and check out the Mad Mac documentary.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
So excited, and appreciate the time, Jim.
All right, guys. Talk to you again.
All right. Have a good one.
Take care, Jim.
You too. Later.
Oh, big thanks to Jim McMahon. Give him a follow on Twitter at Jim McMahon. Can't miss that. Oh, and he's on Cameo too. So if you want Jimmy Mack saying what's up to you on Cameo, check. He's got his link in the bio over there. Good dude, fun guy to have on, and yeah, I mean, gotta check out that weed strain too. If you're in California,
nah, definitely won't do that.
Go hang out with. They need to come up with a name for like the football. You know, maybe they call themselves the Dime Package or something like that. They need some sort of weed football thing to tie in there. The Dime Bag Package,
Mad Dog Blitz package.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Honestly, it's just called grass.
Grass, which yeah, I mean he loves grass,
Turf.
except playing on
guys.
it.
He didn't like practicing in Chicago.
He really broke Colby's heart, saying he wouldn't mind playing in the dome. Oh, and also want to shout out underdogfantasy.com. Head over there, sign up using that promo code SGPN. Kramer's brain is maybe he's going to have to get some of those stem cells. Finally recovering from the 24-hour fantasy football draft day, drafting for 24 hours straight, trying to win that millie. Promo code SGPN, get you a free entry over at underdogfantasy.com.
Feels like, yeah, I'm definitely getting to the max entries. I only need like 90 more.
Only 90 more. Maybe we'll get to that. Maybe we'll just run another 4 days straight. Come on,
do another draft.
Yeah, next year you got to do
2 days.
Next year you got to do 48 hours, dude. Don't be a pussy, all right?
Oh man. All right.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
What's going to be great when I just like randomly hop online and start doing drafts again.
He's hooked. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
I'll give all those strains a try, Sean.
Kramer. Let it ride.